You got to boo and cheer at the same time for the song, as is required by law. Anyway, welcome back here. Rolling along on this Thursday. It's Thursday. Glad to have you in on the program today. And since it is Thursday, that means it is time for our weekly visit with one JJ Starling. JJ had a lot of things happened with JJ within the last week since we last chatted. On one hand, he had his career high game against NC State. On the other hand, he got like 360 somersaulted up in the air and landed on his head on Tuesday. And then went through the concussion protocol, came out clean the other side, and played the entire second half. So lots has happened with our guy JJ Starling in the last week. Without further ado, as we always do, we talk with him in the morning as he is practicing right now. Like literally right now, he's in the middle of practice, so he's a bit occupado. So here is our weekly conversation with JJ, brought to you by our friends at RomanoCars.com. Well, time now for our weekly visit with our guy, JJ Starling, brought to you by our friends at RomanoCars.com. JJ, welcome in. Tough one, certainly, last time out on Tuesday. First off, how are you, man? That was a scary-looking tumble watching that on TV. How was that to experience it in real time, hitting the deck like that?
Yeah, it definitely stunned me for sure. But luckily, I did the concussion protocol and all that stuff, so I was fine, and it was nice to be able to go back into the game. So
yeah, that was one like watching it. Like I'm sure you probably didn't know if you were going to be allowed to play in the second half. Like that had to be one that it just shocked you, right? I mean, you're closing out on a 3-point shooter that there was probably no way to even see that coming, right?
Right, not at all.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're okay, and you were out there for most of the rest of the game, realistically, after that point. Let's go into that game, because it was strange to watch. What do you think the difference was, JJ, between what happened at the end of the first, beginning of the second half, when they had that big run on you, and really the rest of the game? What was the difference between those two portions?
Honestly, our defensive intensity kind of let up, and we had some points of miscommunication, which allowed them to get easy offense. And once you get easy offense as a good team, that just sparks you. So they just started rolling after that, and we tried to claw our way back in, but it was a little too late.
Tell us about communication in a man defense. I think, obviously fans of Syracuse basketball, JJ, have been watching zone for years and understand the concept of having to talk to each other in a zone and moving. How important is the idea of communication in a man as opposed to, I'm just guarding this guy? Like, what is the other stuff you guys are looking for on defense in those scenarios?
Yeah, defense is definitely needs to be done as a unit. Obviously, you need to keep the ball in front of you and contain it, but that's why you have 4 other players on the court. So you're always constantly talking. You're in help. You're dropping, and that allows you to tell the person who needs to make the next rotation to have your back after having somebody else's back. So it definitely is. It's complicated, but I feel like we're doing a better job with it, and that just comes with more chemistry together. So obviously there's some things that we have some work to do, though.
Yeah, just a portion of that game where it goes sideways, and then you guys are fighting back. Take me into the battle back, because once you're down 14, that could have been an easy. This one's done. Let's move on to the next one. What allowed you guys to get back in the game and make it a game down the stretch Tuesday?
Yeah, well, Malik and Quadir, they stepped up big time, especially Malik, and it seemed like he went on a run by himself at one point. We're a team, we're young, but at the same time, we're not going to keep fighting no matter the situation, and we showed that. It's just that we couldn't get the job done, but it was a true testament to our character for sure, because like you said, we could have just cash that one in and just focus on the next game, but none of us wanted to do that. We wanted to win.
Yeah, seemed like a good step forward in that regard. And you mentioned Malik, and he's been fantastic all season for the most part. What do you notice about his game? It feels like every time we watch him play, he's showing us something new. Like his game feels like it's expanding literally every game on the court right now.
Yeah, Malik is just one of those guys that every coach wants on your team. Not even just every coach, every player. Like, he just does every little thing. He doesn't complain, and he works hard. And It's been fun watching him grow. Obviously, I wasn't able to play with him last season, but just from this summer until this point, he's just been growing so much. And I knew how much of a good player he was, but he just keeps proving everybody wrong, just getting better every day. And it's fun watching his growth for sure.
Yeah, and you guys, obviously it was in a comeback situation there in the second half, but like the brand of ball you played, there was about a 5-minute stretch there, I don't know, mid-second half, where the ball was just moving all over the place, right? Like you look at Malik and Quadir and just the passing that was going on, it was not sticking anywhere for more than it felt like a heartbeat. When the ball's moving like that, what's that like to be a part of when you're on the court?
Oh yeah, that's our best brand of basketball for sure. When it's moving, sticking, finding, the right shot. And instead of us finding a shot, it's the ball finding the shot for sure. So it's definitely fun because you get the defense moving and scrambling, and no team wants to guard, for a whole possession, a whole shot clock. Teams want you to go one-on-one and try to make plays that aren't there. Obviously, there are time and places for that, but when the ball is moving, it's hard to guard.
Is stuff like that contagious? Like when you see somebody make a nice pass and it's moving, like you want to get involved in that too and keep it humming around like that?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is contagious. Because once you make a nice pass, you get the bench into it, obviously, and then on the court, it's just nice seeing that. So you're jumping and celebrating for them as well. And then that next possession down, you're looking forward to doing the same thing. So that ultimately leads to the ball moving even more.
As JJ Starling is with us as he joins us every Thursday here, brought to you by RomanoCars.com. We have a Griff on yesterday, as we always do, JJ, and he talked about Quadir a lot. And we talked a lot yesterday about like his vocal leadership right now, the team. We can see his play, but what's Q bringing, verbally to you guys out on the court?
Yeah, he's a high energy guy for sure. He talks good on defense, which is what we need. You can't have good defense without great communication. So he brings that for us for sure, and that's what we need.
I don't want to get through this conversation, JJ, without mentioning last Saturday against NC State, because you had your career high game that day. We don't want to forget about that, since that happened since we last chatted. What was cooking for you? What worked so well last Saturday in the Dome?
Honestly, I was just aggressive and playing like myself. I wasn't thinking out there, and I was just making the right play. But fortunately enough, my teammates were just finding me. I didn't have to do too much. My teammates have been doing this all season, helping me create my shot, find my shot, and that's what they did against NC State.
And obviously it's more than two guys, but, you had 26 in that game. Judah had 20 and got to the line, it felt like 8 million times. I think he shot 20 free throws in the ball game. How tough are you guys to beat specifically when you and Judah are both on your game like you were last Saturday?
It's very tough, because we feed off each other for sure. And then once one gets going and the other one gets going, it's hard to stop, and then obviously our team is right behind us, and then everybody's into the game, and it's just really infectious.
Yeah, and he had a bunch of assists in that game, a bunch of them to you last Saturday. So the ball was going back and forth, which was fun to see. As JJ Starling is with us, you're getting set to travel tomorrow, heading down to Wake Forest, Winston-Salem to take on the Demon Deacons on Saturday. They had a tough loss on the road at Pittsburgh last night. And you see these road games in the league, and this will be another one for you, JJ. How tough is it to go on the road in this league and get a win?
Yeah, it's very tough. A lot of teams want to defend their home court, and to be able to go into somebody's, the opponent's territory and get the win, it's huge, especially in a league like this where, teams are really good and everyone matters, but especially those road wins and the tough atmospheres with the crowd going against you. So it's definitely tough, but, we're looking forward to, executing and carrying that out on Saturday.
I'm curious, JJ, you say the teams are tough, and we see it like net rankings and bracketology and whatever. They say one thing about this league. You know, I think us watching the games tells us another thing about this league. Do you pay attention at all to the bracketology, net rankings, any of that stuff? Does that seep in, or do you keep that outside your thought process?
Yeah, I keep that outside my thought process. I only want to keep it my thought process with, you know, my team and myself. You know, I don't want to, you know, focus on the outside noise because that's when we get distracted. So I don't pay too much attention to that.
All right, so Wake Forest this Saturday, JJ. Give us a quick scout. What's this Wake team like? They've off to a pretty good start halfway through conference season. What's this game got in store for you on Saturday?
Yeah, like you said, they're a really good team. Really well coached and good offensively. So we know it's going to be a high-scoring game for sure, but we got to execute our defense like we've been doing and make sure we do that for 40 minutes straight, because once we do that, we're going to be hard to beat. We stop them from scoring. It's going to be hard to stop us from scoring now, so we're definitely going to hone in on defense.
Yeah, they average 80 a game, so we could see some fireworks both ways on Saturday. Should be a fun one down in Winston-Salem. All right, JJ, man, thanks for hopping on as always on a Thursday. Good luck this weekend, and we'll talk again next week.
All right, thank you.
There he goes, JJ Starling, brought to us by our friends at RomanoCars.com here on this Thursday. All right, something quickly to tell you about right now. This weekend in Utica. In Utica is the 12th annual Home Show. The 12th annual Home Show will be at Utica University. It had been at Turning Stone recently. It'll be at the Utica University Nexus Center this weekend on the 3rd and the 4th. We know people like free tickets to stuff. Well, I'll tell you what we got to this puppy. We got free tickets. How many? Lots of free tickets. If you want tickets to the Home Show in Utica this Saturday or Sunday, the ticket is good for either day. Call now at 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. Do you want 2 tickets? We got 2. Do you want 4? We got 4. How many people do you know? Just try to stump us. Call now. 315-437-7644. We'll hook you up. Tickets to the 12th annual Home Show at Utica University coming up this weekend. We'll do that on this hour, brought to you by our friends at William Attar. Hurt in a car. Call William Attar. We're back after this. We can get your phone calls in on the air as well at 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. Much more to come, including a visit with one of the guys that helped get this WrestleCuse this weekend off the ground. Ed Olinsky will join us next hour. Much more to come here in the 315 on QSportsTalk.com and ESPN Radio.